our normal grocery store tours, I'm going to take you guys on a virtual grocery store tour just due to COVID-19. It looks a little bit different. So the very first thing we're going to do is we have our grocery list on paper instead of using our phones. That reduces some contact with you actually touching your phone and then touching groceries. So we just want to reduce contact all around. We're going to start out by sanitizing and making sure that everything is good to go there. And then instead of grabbing a grocery cart outside, we're gonna go ahead and wait until we get inside because they have sanitation stations or an employee already sanitizing. So let's put on our mask and go inside. Okay guys, so first thing is we're going to reduce touching items at the grocery store. So instead of taking it up and looking at it, make sure you're only grabbing the items you're actually going to use and put in your cart. So this is going to be a little bit different than our normal grocery store tour. So instead of going around the perimeter of the store, what we usually preach you, because we're reducing contact and trying to limit our time in the store, so we can go maybe once or twice every week, we're gonna buy more shelf-stable things. So in the produce section, you could grab stuff like apples, if you wanna grab bananas, and once those go too ripe, maybe throw them in the freezer, make them for smoothies, that kind of stuff. And maybe avoid buying like lettuce, spinach, and kale, just because those go bad kind of quicker, and go for more of like your potatoes, like an easy salad kit you know you're gonna eat this week, stuff like that that lasts a little bit longer than just your typical grocery store run. So having protein on hand is going to be super important. So it's still the same thing that we would normally recommend, either grabbing like frozen chicken or grabbing fresh chicken because it's on sale, using your Kroger card, and then bagging it in a Ziploc bag and freezing it for later. Having protein on hand, you could pretty much have that in your freezer for up to 3 to 5 months depending on the protein and when you bought it. So something to kind of stock up on if you can. Protein can be a little bit more expensive, so if you want to start with that first, stock up on it, and then the next week stock up on other items, that may be your best choice budget-wise. Okay, so it may be beneficial for you to go ahead and grab shelf-stable milk, depending on your storage situation. If you have a mini fridge, if you have a full fridge, this is just good to have on hand, especially if you're going to be quarantined for 2 weeks or if you're limiting time to go to the grocery store. This is good because you can leave it on your shelf until you're ready to drink it, and throw it in the fridge. It lasts for a little bit longer, and they have normal and chocolate milk, which are super great options for athletes as well. A really great option for you guys is to grab canned veggies. Canned is just as good as fresh and frozen. They are canned at their peak time, so this is a really good thing to have on hand. Again, lasts for a really long time. Make sure you can grab like your Kroger brand, because that tends to be a lot cheaper than another brand, especially if you're on a budget. And make sure you're using your Kroger card for sure. Packaged fruit would be a really great thing to grab as well. Again, it's shelf stable. You can still grab your color this way without being worried about your produce going bad quickly. And don't look for in light syrup or no syrup. Again, looking for Kroger brand kind of items to make sure that we are staying within your budget for the week. Okay, so grabbing some canned soup or just having these on hand would be a really good idea. It's a quick, easy dinner. I like the Progresso just because it's a little bit heartier than Campbell's. Really good for athletes, a little bit more chicken in there. It's about 230 calories, so if you want to add like a salad or like a thing of rice or your own noodles to it, that would be a really good idea. Sometimes I even add my own chicken, a little bit more noodles, just to get it a little bit higher in calories. But it is a good thing just to have on hand for a quick, easy dinner, especially if you're not feeling well. So this is a really great aisle to come to because I have my packaged protein. Tuna is a really great source of protein. It has about 17 grams. And so you could definitely add this to prepackaged rice, which is super easy to have on hand. Takes about 90 seconds in the microwave. And then if you want to mix this with like frozen broccoli, you have a perfectly balanced microwavable meal. And then this is also the pasta aisle. So talking about some pasta, this is whole grain pasta that has at least 7 grams of fiber, which is super important. That's what we're looking for in grains. So maybe going for more of the whole grain option versus your other options in the pasta aisle. So talking about grains, picking a bread is going to be super important for like peanut butter and jellies, sandwiches with lunch meat, that kind of thing. I really like Dave's Killer Bread just because of how many grams of fiber it has. It has 5 grams of fiber, also has 5 grams of protein, and it's a little bit more calorie dense, which is exactly what you guys need. So this is my choice, but if you pick a whole grain bread, like whatever one you like, that's good too. Just kind of look for that 3 grams of fiber or higher when you're picking a grain item. So moving to oatmeal, this would be a really awesome breakfast item to have on hand, just because again, shelf stable, which is our theme throughout this whole thing, but also has at least 3 grams of fiber, has a little bit of protein. So if you mix it with milk and stuff, you're about 8 grams. So that is going to be like a better breakfast option if you're in a hurry, but also just for a later use as well. So Greek yogurt is an awesome protein option, also great for a snack or maybe adding it to your breakfast. It has about 11 grams of protein in this small little cup. It's super convenient for when you're on the go, going to class, maybe in between meetings and stuff like that. So definitely have this on hand. Adding granola to something like this would be a great balanced snack for sure. But making sure that you have this in your fridge. So this actually lasts until October, so even if you buy it and you don't eat it right away, again, another long-lasting item to have in your fridge. All right, so whether you're living in a dorm, an apartment, nuts are a super great thing to have on hand, just to have for convenience, but it's also a good on-the-go protein item. Some other good snacks would be like trail mix, popcorn, beef jerky, that kind of stuff to have like while you're on the go, but also just because you may not have a full kitchen available. So I get a lot of questions about juice, and the one thing that I say is make sure it's 100% that fruit juice. And like again, buying a Kroger brand would be great. I also like Simply Orange, which is behind me. So if you're gonna drink juice, make sure it's 100% fruit juice. So cheese is a really great protein source. I really like string cheese just because it's super easy and convenient, especially on the go. It has about 6 grams of protein, which is awesome, and a little string cheese. You can grab 2 with an apple and you're good to go for a balanced snack. So eggs are gonna be your cheapest and easiest protein option. This whole carton's about 59 cents. Make sure that when you're picking out an egg, you open up the carton and look to see that all the eggs are okay, because sometimes they get cracked getting like stored and stuff like that, so you don't want to go home with a cracked egg. But this would be a really great thing just to have in your fridge, and they last for about a week or so. So next we're going to talk about frozen food. So we're going to start out with frozen veggies and fruit. These are great things to have, especially now for this time during COVID-19, reducing contact. Frozen fruit and veggies are frozen at peak time, so don't feel like you're cheating yourself nutritionally for getting frozen food. It's still just as good and easy, convenient, and it lasts for a really long time. So frozen meals may be a really great thing to have during this time. I kind of go for the healthy choice or the fit kitchen. When you're looking at frozen meals, you're looking for a higher protein content, lower fat, and then just watch the sodium because that can kind of jack up in frozen meals.